There are a number of tools the U.S. as partners and financing agencies can do to help them become more competitive, like maximizing coordination among financing agencies like EXIM, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, and their partner agencies. These agencies often work with the private sector in helping them mobilize their capital overseas, so it would really behoove the U.S. and its partners and allies to work together to use their strengths to help provide a reliable and secure alternative to what the Chinese are providing. Hi, I'm Erin Murphy, Deputy Director of the Chair on India and Emerging Asia Economics and Senior Fellow of Emerging Asia Economics here at CSIS. I'm here to talk to you about my recent report, Inflection Point, Selecting Trusted Technology for Digitalization and Connectivity. In our report, we looked at how developing countries across the globe are building or upgrading their digital infrastructure, and that they're going to have to make choices in terms of what type of equipment it will use and from where they're going to get that equipment. Providing telecommunication systems to the so-called Global South is not only a development issue, but it's also becoming an economic security issue. There's competition to build networks, and that tension is increasing between China and the U.S. and its allies and partners. But so far, China has been taking a significant lead on digital connectivity. These countries, as we noted in the title, are at an inflection point in terms of choosing how they will pursue digital connectivity, which will provide important services like e-commerce, education, financial services, and health. But there's also related national security and data protection issues they need to consider. In a lot of these countries, they don't necessarily have the governing principles or the rule of law that can help protect businesses and personal information, but also there's concerns around whether or not this is going to be a backdoor into data collection or other nefarious means. The U.S. and like-minded partners are trying to bridge this gap between them and China to provide a reliable and secure alternative and make the case that they should be chosen instead to provide this digital connectivity. There are a number of tools the U.S. as partners and financing agencies can do to help them become more competitive, like providing governing principles, mostly to governments that are looking to build out their digital networks. And they can also use things such as CSIS's own criteria for security and trust in telecommunication networks and services. Other things that the U.S. and its partners can do are maximizing coordination among financing agencies like EXIM, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, and their partner agencies. These agencies often work with the private sector in helping them mobilize their capital overseas, so it would really behoove the U.S. and its partners and allies to work together to use their strengths to help provide a reliable and secure alternative to what the Chinese are providing. Other things that the U.S. can do is addressing EXIM's content requirements and default caps for critical technologies. Right now, EXIM has a 2% default cap for its entire portfolio, and for these types of sectors to invest in, it's a lot more risky. So raising that default cap will certainly help. And then in terms of content requirements, making sure that we can also include partners and ally equipment in that so we can be a lot more competitive. And finally, the U.S. can support the private sector in matching them with potential projects leads. This is really going to be a public-private partnership and trying to work together and use their respective information and strengths in connectivity. The private sector can communicate with the U.S. government and its partner and ally governments on what it needs to be able to invest in these countries. And the U.S. can then work with those partner countries to try to figure out how to best create an enabling environment, whether it's providing governing principles or trying to make better regulatory decisions. And one other thing, and this is the final thing, the U.S. has to maintain its leadership in research and development. This is going to be key in providing those types of alternative networking solutions, whether it's in software or hardware, that the Global South is going to want to choose. To read the full report, Inflection Point, Selecting Trusted Technology for Digitalization and Connectivity, please visit csis.org.